All right. I have listened to two songs from Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin. I don't know, by the way, if it's pronounced McLaughlin or McLaughlin. Please do let me know if you have that context. But I've reacted to at least two of their songs, Noonward Race for sure. And I'm and Vital Transformation was the other one. I'm really excited to hop on in. I'm told that there is a lot of history rooted in this particular act. I was blown away both times I heard John play guitar. The Context, shout out to the Context crew, by the way. Mahavishnu is one of the pioneering groups of jazz rock in the burgeoning jazz fusion scene, being led, frankly, by insane guitarist John McLaughlin. This record was inspired by McLaughlin's interest in spirituality, with many of the liner notes talking about philosophy and religion, aiding the record's otherworldly atmosphere. McLaughlin's compositions on the record were inspired by Indian classical music alongside more contemporary rock, making for a jazz record that sounded truly unlike anything else of the time. All of the members were sober, helping them concentrate on the technicality of their playing. McLaughlin also produced the album himself. That is all really, really, really cool. Now, the ones that really stood out to me when I remember watching the video in this context were obviously John, but Billy Cobham on the drums was just a madman, just an absolute madman. And guys, if anybody knows, when you say he wrote all of the songs, do you just mean he composed them and like the guitar parts, or like he composed them like instrument by instrument? Like Billy Cobham, I imagine, wrote his own drum parts, of course, right? Like there had to have been a collaborative element to it, surely. Or did he write the drum parts and give them to Billy that, and then he played them? I definitely all compositions by John McLaughlin. Okay, it's jazz. I assume it was partially improvised. That's yeah, definitely let me know how much of this is improv versus how much of this is composed. Not that it matters. A good album and great music is a good album with great music, but I am of course interested in those details. So yeah, just shout out to the instrumentalists that we're about to hear: John McLaughlin, Rick Laird on the bass, Billy Cobham, of course, on drums and percussion, John Hammer, or Jan Hammer, keyboards and organ, and Jerry Goodman on the violin. I think, and again, if we need to reference them because we have like a oh crap, there we go. Okay, Yawn. Oh man. Okay, got you. Yawn Hammer. Yawn. Gotcha. Yawn Hammer. Yawn Hammer. I'm guessing. Yawn Hammer. Probably. I don't know. Forgive me if I butchered the pronunciation of the names, either which way. Guys, in the chat right now, let me know. Have you heard this album before? Or he did the Miami Vice theme. Oh, very nice. Have you heard this album before, or are you listening along for the first time? I'm gonna hit the play button on this thing. But before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. And if you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Twitch. These people over here are actually the best people. Come discover music with us. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say we would love to have you by. It's a great group to discover music with. Guys, without further ado, first time for me and first time for some of you, Mahavishnu Orchestra, the Intermounting Flame. Here we go. Was it billed? Yeah, it is billed as the Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin. Okay, I was just curious. Here we go. And there are no lyrics for this album, I don't believe. The drums are immediately nuts. Wow. Meeting of the spirits. The tone. This man, please. Okay, because I am putting this out on as a video on YouTube, I have to pause it to make commentary. So do forgive me. Recognize I'm going to try to do it at decent enough musical breaks or transitions. But holy friggin' balls! I'm blown away. I don't even know where to begin in the commentary here. Like, this is absolutely just an introduction that just slingshots you into this kind of, meeting of the spirits. I mean, almost crazy enough based on the sound of the music. I feel like it's aptly named. Already, I'm putting this on the liked songs, by the way. The tone that he has, is he playing the double neck SG that I recall him having? Like this was this the axe he played throughout the music we're about to hear? Because the tone that he is getting on that thing just squeals. And yeah, by the way, I figured out what was going on with the mono thing. So everybody should be squared away and be hearing it in stereo now. It should be better. Please do let me know in the comments section if it's mono or stereo to you. It really, because I talk so much about what happens in the panning, it goes a long way. So I think when you hear the tones, like, you have a really cool, sense of the lead. It cut his tones cut very, very, very well through. But then you have a whole lot of accenting going behind it. Immediately, I'm drawn to the keys. And you've also, hang on, the keys being, Jan Hammer. And you've got like this wah pedal kind of thing happening on the guitar tone. Which, and again, that squealing, I was around 3 minutes, by the way. But the drum energy, Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mahavishnu's stuff. He used a Black Les Paul custom and a Gibson double neck 1275. Then later a custom Rex Bogue double neck. Got it. Rex Bouge? Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what guitar he's playing on this one, but it wails. Like, the work here, the strumming, it's like he sweeps. And the whole time, the drum, the snare pop. And the bass, I missed it the whole time. I'm listening, I'm getting stuck listening to the guitar. That I missed the bass happening behind it. Unbelievable. And was this a completely composed piece, or did he like just pull some of this right off the top of his noggin? Like, because I have to imagine that some of this just came out of feel. He's not sweeping any of this. This is picking, straight picking, not sweeping. This is 19 and 71. The transition of, what is that, of Rhodes? That whole thing transitions out of this madness, this chaos, the guitar sweeping. I'm talking about what John was doing on the guitar. The madness provided by the drums and the guitar, and then this like ethereal transition out of that chaos into this like say sorrow moment where there's that brief pause, and just kind of like a breath for the song. From here, and then we're here. Bro. The violin. The keys are really running away with this moment. Bro. certainly sweeping. I think we're all meeting of the spirits right now. This is 1971, so this is a kind of during Zappa, but not like before his earliest. This was everything I have just heard is blown my mind. The guitar playing of this man, and then when you mix it with the drums, and all after, I was just talking about how like the keys really kind of took it and ran away with it there in the second half, and then you have that moment where it's like John McLaughlin is like, hold my proverbial beer, because he's not actually they're all sober, but he's like, you know hold my matcha, and then just goes ham. Like right here, we transition, and then just, it's like liftoff. That is absolutely madness. That violin on the left is nuts, and the stereo drum pans. So you have the violin screaming here in the left, but the drums, they're panned so well that when you hear when you hear Billy do a run on the toms down to the snare, you hear it pass from the left to the right ear, or the right to the left ear, depending on which way he's going. And it's just an unbelievable feat of mixing and mastering. And then the way it ends with him, with Billy kind of riding the bell of the ride at the end, was just incredible. This really, really blows my mind on what jazz fusion is, or jazz rock. One of the premier fusion groups, the Mahavishnu Orchestra, were considered by most observers during their prime to be a rock band, but their sophisticated improvisations actually put their high-powered music between rock and jazz. Founder and leader John McLaughlin had recently played with Miles Davis and Tony Williams's Lifetime. The original lineup of the group was McLaughlin on electric guitar, violinist Jerry Goodman, keyboardist Jan Hammer, electric bassist Rick Laird, and drummer Billy Cobham. They recorded 3 intense albums for Columbia during 71 to 73. Then the personnel changed completely for the second version of the group. In 1974, the band consisted of violinist Jean-Luc Ponty, Gail Moran. It doesn't look like so. John dual interest, and okay, so it looks like he kind of stepped away. Had replaced Moran, and Ponty left. John McLaughlin's dual interest in Eastern religion and playing acoustic guitar resulted in the band breaking up in 75. Surprisingly, an attempt to revive in 1984 using Cobham's saxophone player was unsuccessful. Okay, so we have an idea then. There we go. Okay, so the next song, I'm going to let it kind of fade out a little bit more and into it, is going to be Dawn. That was a tremendous song. absolute energy. And it just switches to absolute vibe. Oh, man. It's in the right ear. That bass is so full, but you can still hear some pick attack. That's both the violin and the guitar. Such a slow song, and he does this, and it's amazing. And the transition from one to the other. The violin. Okay. I have to pause it to make commentary. I've tried to let it play through as long as possible. I have to comment on how we had this kind of duet moment of the violin and the guitar taking leads, right? And then you have this moment where they're like just completely letting John run, and you have this, and it happens during this slow jam song where it's like such a contrast to have him just shredding and wailing the way he does to this. And you've got, man, that entrance was so good as well. This full bass sound and like the percussion really does keep a kind of a slow vibe for a little bit, but you don't notice that he kind of creeps it up on you, and just it's with these like snare runs. It's like he's got a who was pick sweeping before this? If this is 1971, who was out there? Maybe Jimmy Page in Led Zeppelin 1. I think he was certainly sweeping in Led Zeppelin 1. So in 68. So jazz guys, I guess, were definitely sweeping though. I didn't realize, like, I can't think of two. Okay, so Jeff Beck. So like Yardbirds guys, okay, and jazz guys. Do let me know. By the way, add to this conversation. Unbelievable. And the drums right now behind the guitar. And a total transition to a different time signature and tempo. And then the fiddle, like the violin, not a fiddle. Thank you, Sky. This violin is amazing. For a moment, I thought that there was another like violin or something because I was hearing this, but I think that's actually the guitar being like struck and then having the volume turned up and then down again on the guitar, not with the pedal. Right. The drums are incredible. And then this transition to now. It's like we're back to the original vibe. Descends here. So thank you for that jazz terminology there. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, this is next level good. I can't believe like this is just such a largely unexplored genre to me. You know, and it's like I feel like you don't know about it until you just haphazardly get introduced to it. I don't know where I would even be that I would have been introduced to music like this, but it's one of those things that like I feel like there are 10 guys I know of that would love this that just also probably don't know about it. Like, unreal. And again, there's such a shining moment for each of the instrumentalists. It just makes me so happy. I'm a massive fan of this. The Noonward Race. This is one I've heard before. This is the first I ever heard from them. I saw this live, so hearing it here is nice. It's unreal what he does. Got it, Scoots. His sustain. The bass. Is this just a synth? His violin. Man, the bell on this is unreal. This is unreal. That violin. Okay, so look, the key sound, like the way it was recorded, it was like peaking the microphone, but it added such a beautiful character to that sound. It almost sounded like it was getting crushed, or like some part of it was getting compressed off the top. And yeah, it transitioned from the violin to the synth, but as it was going, hearing both the violin and the synth in tandem as it kind of transitioned to where you seamlessly kind of saw one thing go to the other, while still kind of keeping the same foundation of the song and that same heartbeat. There was just a massiveness to it. Well, and again, like hearing this version versus the live version that I'd listened to, you just really get to see some special attention to detail in the mixing and mastering. Like the production of this is just incredible. The energy behind this, I can't even get like I can't even fathom how good the drum like Billy is at the drums. No wonder he was like such a physical specimen when you watched him play. Like he was just a fit dude. And yeah, for 19 and 71, I mean, it really is kind of a genius thing. And I imagine that this is all like played in a room together. I can't imagine that there's overdubbing tremendous, like if at all in this. I mean, do tell me if I'm wrong, but golly goodness, I really do think that this is like a special group of people that just got together and said, you know what we could do is make some amazing music. Uh, and yeah, unreal, unreal. Guys, yeah, I'm mind blown. Let me bring it back a bit. Both jazz and recorded live. Unbelievable, man. Is it the violin getting edited? Then you have the bass. There it's back. With the drum, serving transition from the drum. Duo, John and Billy, right? Like when they play together, it's unbelievable that they play as fast as they do, but like that one matches the other speed so seamlessly. And like the transitions, that like all of these guys are just otherworldly good, and that each of them have kind of had a moment of shine as we've gone through it has been incredibly cool. I still think Meeting of the Spirits is probably been my favorite so far, but there has not been a single miss yet. And this one is a Lotus on Irish Streams. Oh, I have to run an ad. So yeah, I will be right back. Okay, let's make sure we are back. I believe we are, and we are. Cool. Now we're gonna head into the next song, a Lotus on Irish Streams. Man, that's difficult to say. Ooh. That acoustic guitar is amazing. Violin, the piano. Is that a grand? This is incredible. And the slight dissonance by the buzz on the strings. I'm amazed right now. This is really quintessentially beautiful music. I am so like just mesmerized by listening to this guitar. There's like an ethereal, almost like almost pastoral nature, because it really does bring me to like green fields. And maybe it's because I'm hearing I saw the words Irish streams, right? Yeah, I'm very whelmed, like neither over or underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed. Like I am perfectly content. There is this comfort to this music. And again, the slight dissonance and whimsy provided by the guitar and the violin coming in and kind of interweaving with one another. Um there's like an element of like fun to it as well. I cannot help but hear this and just smile and just kind of like be taken back by it. I just can't. It's so nice. And going from such high energy in those first three songs and then being met with this total dynamic shift like midway through the album. And on the album, my guess would be that this is the end of side A when it was actually laid in vinyl. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. But the way that this is kind of, yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. The way that this is finishing up side A of the album is just nothing but a smile. I want to bring it back a little bit. Yeah. It's just so expressive. I want to revisit this moment, this back and forth of the kind of the scale run of the guitar and the violin here. Right here. It wasn't a scale run, but it was a really cool moment of them. The way that they play off each other and with each other. What a song. It's almost unbelievable to me that this has the least amount of listens on the album proper, other than Awakening, I suppose. This might be my favorite on the album. It lacks Billy. That's my only criticism. So maybe it's better to say it's a different kind of favorite. Descending and cascading piano sounds. The violin that's like speaking poetry. That little harmonic there. That song was a deep breath, man. That song was several deep breaths. That was such a good sound. Honestly, it really has me just left with good feelings. It's amazing what music can do to a person's demeanor, attitude, and what music can do without needing to say a word. You know? When you have instruments as expressive as these folks play their instruments, it's really incredible what can happen. That was truly just a beautiful piece of work. A Lotus on Irish Streams. Maddeningly good. Now, Vital Transformation was the other song I'd had coming into this. An absolute madhouse. How's it going, Dean? Welcome by. And yeah, then we just go right back into the catapult. Drum panning. It is nice to have the drums back. That squeal, man. Transition hits me every time. And then we get this moment. This vibey tension builder. Liftoff. Dean, fantastic to have you by again. pans on the keys. What was that sound? You know what I didn't notice until this listen is that you've got the violin doing the like the whole time, and then John comes back in. Right here. Listen to that! And then bringing it back down. And the way that they pan the drums, it really does throw your head for a trip. Dude. That you have the keys on the right and the violin on the left is just such a cool thing. The ending chaos on the keys is something I also didn't quite take notice of as well last time. I'm so sad at how fast this album seems to be just progressing on through. Um, and I'm also surprised that Noonward Race wasn't the most listened to song on the album. The Dance of Maya, You Know, seems to be by far the most popular, and then Awakening to close it down. And here is the Dance of Maya. Geez, though, 5 for 5 on as far as the songs go. 5 for 5. They really do well to incorporate rock sounds, but it not feel like a rock album at all. But it does. But no. This is something so much more than just like a rock album. And then this build-up. I I know people are gonna hate me for saying this, but it's just the way I hear music because it's what my experience has been. But I feel like Weezer heard this and took a lot of inspiration or influence from it because it does kind of remind me of early days Weezer, specifically like Undone, the sweater song. Oh, yo, Scoodle Dump, thank you for that. To Skin Bomb Death. Thank you for the gifted sub. And yo, Dean, thank you for subbing yourself. By the way, guys, thank you so much for that. And for the 10 tickle biddies. I appreciate it. I'm going to go back a little bit. Thank you for that, guys. I appreciate the heck out of it. Snake, thank you for the 100 bits, man. This, wow! Scoots, thank you. This is really... And then like a blues transition, and then we walk into like a 12 bar kind of thing? What the frig? That's nuts. Thank you for the 100 bits, Mickey the Mousey. That really... We go from this crazy walk of chaos here into like a 12 bar thing, but not 12 bars. Blues and 10. You throw some sevenths in there and you're good. That timing feels so funny. Dead done. It almost sounds like there's a harmonica. Is this just a guitar squealing? In a wah pedal? What a transition. it just keeps going. This I can't say enough about John McLaughlin's guitar playing. Like his soloing, his sweeping, his use of the double bends as character moments in his solos here are really, really, really evocative of like strong emotion. um, and it pulls out like this kind of like excited tension. And the whole time I'm listening, I find myself wondering if I'm more impressed with Billy Cobham or John McLaughlin, because there's such a powerful combination when you mix their sounds as fast as they both play. I mean, and they're so accurate and they're so dynamic, and like hearing the change ups of the timing as John, as Billy's playing, I'm just actually mind blown. And then you have all of these other world class musicians supporting the cast and often taking the leads with the bass, with the keys, with the violin. I can't get past how truly just tight this band is. And again, their ability to switch dynamics within a song really kind of brings you from like scene to scene. And when you don't have lyrics, it's so important to make these transitions in a big way. And they do that so well. And we're back to the bluesy motif. And this build-up. There's multiple guitar parts here. Were there overdubs after all? Or maybe it was like a key playing with a wah pedal or something. But this song, I felt like this song had some overdubs. Not that it's like a dunk on the song. I just was curious. But yeah, there's definitely polyrhythms here, guys. And that it goes back to so many motifs. Like the song is self-referential without needing to say a word. That they didn't board fade on that one. They've interwoven the board fade, but that they just brought it home on that one was incredible. Absolutely a huge fan of that. And again, the Dance of Maya had such a journey. It was an actual journey. Like you really did go through some amazing dynamics of like fast and slow, like, kind of dark and upbeat. And I've really enjoyed that. 2 songs left, and we've come up on, I guess, the biggest song of the album, You Know. So let's check it out. They say if you know. Ooh. What a tandem. The guitar and the bass, and then you have that drum come in. Another really big vibe shift there. I like that we keep adding instruments here. The guitar is all in the right ear, too. Nope, that's a key, not a guitar. It really is their use of switching, going from such high energy to these lovely low down tracks. Oh my gosh. I can't get past that. I was going to comment on the violin, but the keys now just have me won over. And the bass playing this melody just really carries a powerful moment to it. And he didn't do it again. Like he really just came in and ripped it on you. I don't know where it's going to happen on the timeline again, so I might get jump scared again. But now I'm ready for it. You don't like hear him until bang. I must not have gone back far enough. And then you have the guitar playing along with it in an octave lower. Wow. The chaotic energy presented in bombastic nature is amazing. The conversation between that drum and tom. Or that tom. Oh, the drum sound is actually incredible. One of the best things about this whole album. Dude! And it just ends on that moment that you don't want it to end on. Bang! The last song. I think that this is going to get a perfect score. Actually incredible. And I know I've heard this one already, so I'm just going to hit like. Awakening. The shortest song Man, this is actually sad. Dude. It really comes in with a machine gun entrance, doesn't it? Violin all left. Okay. I'm making a pause here because I recognize a transition, but man, Billy on the drums is nuts. He goes so fast, then stops for a moment, does really quick chops. Yeah, like it's absolutely, and then you have the keys playing off of him. Like the way that he goes about this is just absolutely magical. Honestly, Billy might be the MVP here. I don't know. Not that it matters. It's all one band and they're all working together in beautiful accordance, but golly goodness, they're just I feel like everybody kind of has a right for MVP here. The violin. Oh my god. I love the peak sound on the keys. Unreal. In the middle, the violin just matches him. For the violin to just come in and match him pound for pound right there. Like again, this syncopation, the synchronicity, whatever you want to call it, how tight they are. Frig, dude. Right here. Perfect score. That was actually incredible. That was actually incredible. I'm left with a lot of good feelings, a lot of big energy. I'm honestly, I would love to see them perform live. I would love, like, further than what I've already done. I feel really foolish because in my very first impression of them, I made the comment about how John looked like he was on some sort of drugs, and now knowing what I know, having some of the context, I can definitely see how foolish that comment was. But again, just hearing how virtuosic and virtuous the music was, hearing how expressive the music was without having to say anything, seeing like where your imagination took you when reading the titles and hearing the music. Unreal. And again, it's got, every time I listen to jazz, I find myself kind of getting reinvigorated with this idea that I want to continue in the rabbit hole of jazz music and fusion specifically, because like hearing so many different characteristics of things I love, improvisation, guitars, drums, offbeats, polyrhythms, and then again, just tight live musicianship. Incredible. Incredible. Guys, I thought this was absolutely 100% warranting and worthy of mine and anybody else's time. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Goodbye.